September 2022, I came out on a rainy day after the rain. Then my feet slipped off and I fell down and hit my waist on the ground. So from there, I felt some normal pain, which I took pain relievers and all of that, did a minor massaging. I even forgot I fell down. After a month, that was in October, I was preparing for one exam where I was picking documents. All of a sudden, I had this sharp pain on my waist. And from then, the pain persisted. I met with a bone therapist. After the examination, he discovered that there was a disjointment in my pelvic joint, which was why I was not working well. He also discovered that the back disc was affected, and but he couldn't really tell me the extent to which this damage was done. So, well, he commenced the treatment until I was okay. And within that same time, there was need to travel. I went to him to confirm if I was fit to travel, and he said yes. After I was granted the permission, I traveled to Kano on a business project. And there was need to represent the company in a meeting in Jigawa, which I traveled to Jigawa for. So coming down from the car to the venue of the meeting, I was feeling, so much pain. Then I managed to join them in the meeting and I finished it. They drove me to the hotel. When they drove me and left, I saw that pain began to increase to the point I could not move anymore. So the next day, I ended up in the hospital, and they did x-ray, but they couldn't discover much. But they managed to stabilize me, and I was driven back to Kano, where I was now taken to Federal Orthopedic Hospital. Based on the information they had, they took me through different kinds of procedures, and it all failed. I was even putting me into more pain. Then they told me that, Nelson, you're going to do a spinal surgery. That's the only way out. Since I had already heard from God that there is hope, and he gave me Ezekiel 37. So I said no. Then I went back to God and I said, those bones in Ezekiel 37 that you showed me did not rise by surgery. They rose by the word of prophecy. And for that reason, I'm not going to give myself for any kind of surgery. At the time all this was going on, my wife was not around, but she was following up by proxy. She was making calls all the time to kind of observe the situation. I also had my relatives around who were taking care of me. My zonal pastor used to come and pray with me. My district and area pastors also came to pray with me.
When Pastor Nessie called me, I went to him and saw the situations. And immediately I called the ZFC members. Then we entered into chain prayer. So we went to him and anointed him. A week later, I got a call that the situation is worse than the way we saw it before. And I said, okay, we went there still when they returned him, and we prayed with him.
After the second time I was asked to go for surgery, I was managing to come out of a bathtub when I fell. My feet slipped off again and I hit my rib on the bathtub. Then one of the ribs shifted, increasing the pain. Meanwhile, the kneecap has already got kind of disjointed. After everything I was told in Kano, coupled with all the procedures, medical procedures that failed, and increasing more pain and damage, I was scared because of what I have heard about people having spinal issues who maybe always end up in wheelchair perpetually or bedridden perpetually. So I was scared. On that note, I went to God and I asked, is there hope? And he said yes, emphatically yes. To him that is joined to the living, there is hope. While I was in Kano, I was in touch, always communicating with my bone therapist in Lagos. So after all the procedures failed, then I was brought back to Lagos. And immediately he came over and commenced the treatment. One of the nights, I had a divine encounter listening to Bishop David Oyedepo's message on healing by consecration. A divine being walked into my room and walked straight to my bed. I was wide awake. That was around 2 a.m. And he put a hand on my back. I felt the hand and it was running down my spine. And that was the turning point. So after the encounter, I saw that I started responding to treatment, the medication that was not working before, like all those painkillers, sleeping tablets, they started working. And I kept on having that experience. That means the divine encounter on several occasions. I discovered that before the bone therapist will come, over the night, I will have somebody massaging my body. Kind of, sometimes I will hear the sound of the bone. I will be on the bed, I'll hear it practically crop. The treatment went on for months, and the healing was very fast. But I was still being aided with a walk stick, and sometimes people holding me, until one night I had a dream, and there was this song we were singing in the dream. I woke up singing that song. I searched for it on YouTube and I began to play it. As I was playing it, I was raising my legs on the bed until I stood up and managed to support myself with the walk stick and the other stuff within. So I kept singing and praising with that song until I threw away the walk stick, and that was the last time I used it. Today I am walking on my own. I'm no more on the wheelchair because I don't need them. Now I can walk, and I don't have spinal injury anymore. I return all glory to God.